It appears that we are currently being attacked by foreign adversaries, Iran and Russia, and this time, maybe it's real. You see, we've gotten so much of this foreign adversary narrative and manipulation campaign stuff that it becomes hard to actually believe or care about any of it. But now we're seeing some things that actually may be legitimate. The story is that a few days ago, some letters were being sent out to Trump supporters threatening to burn down their homes. Letters with no return addresses are popping up in various jurisdictions saying, we know that you support Trump and we're going to burn your house down, or things like that. It'll get really bad for you if you don't vote for Biden. But then we heard other stories. People had begun receiving emails from the Proud Boys saying, we know where you live, we know who you vote for, and we can see who you are going to vote for in 2020. You better vote for Trump. It may be that both of these are manipulations by some foreign adversary to drive a wedge between the factions in the U.S. and maybe spark some kind of civil war. Now, I can't speak for the letters being sent, the physical letters being sent to Trump supporters. And there's reason to believe, at least for now, those are real. I kind of don't believe it. I would personally lean towards it's probably some kind of manipulation. But there has been a mass, I'll call it faux doxing. It's not real doxing, but it's a website that is publishing all of the private information of people who have donated to Donald Trump. But it's aggregating this information from public sources. So to clarify, the information was made publicly available on the FEC website. When you donate to a politician, your address, name, phone number, all that stuff. I don't know about phone number, but your address is publicly available. Someone has compiled all of Trump's donors and created a map. So it's very easy to search and find people near you who have supported Trump. Because of that story, and this website's been around for quite some time, it's possible the letters being sent to Trump supporters are real. I don't know for sure, and I kind of lean towards someone's trying to just inflame tensions. And when we see this story, perhaps it is a foreign adversary. Now, the crazy thing about this, we have the director of national intelligence holding a press conference saying Iran spoofed emails pretending to be the Proud Boys threatening Joe Biden supporters. The media now is claiming it's unprecedented that they've responded so quickly and given us this statement so quickly. It's not proven. Because the media wants it to be the Proud Boys. They want to say the Proud Boys are threatening people. The media wants Joe Biden to win. Let's read the story. FBI says Iran behind voter intimidation operations spoofing the Proud Boys. The story from the Daily Beast. Iran used the guise of the far-right Proud Boys to send threatening emails to voters earlier this week, U.S. intelligence officials claimed late Wednesday. At a hastily called evening press conference, Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe spelled out what he said were concerted foreign efforts to sow chaos in the ongoing presidential election. We would like to alert the public that we have identified that two foreign actors, Iran and Russia, have taken specific actions to influence public opinion relating to our elections. We have already seen Iran sending spoofed emails designed to intimidate voters, incite social unrest, and damage President Trump, Ratcliffe said. Although we have not seen the same actions from Russia, we are aware that they have obtained some voter registration information, he added. In the past, law enforcement and intelligence agencies have taken months to finger a foreign actor behind a disinformation or election interference campaign. Wednesday's announcement came just a day after authorities in Florida and Alaska sought help from the feds to investigate a flurry of emails sent to Democratic voters demanding they vote for Trump and switch their party affiliation. The emails, which had been made to look like they were sent from the Proud Boys, a right-wing paramilitary group. I love how they say Proud Boys are paramilitary. I don't know what that means. What are the Proud Boys doing that makes them paramilitary? Are they going and fighting in conflict? They're not a militia, and they don't bring weapons around. So I don't know what that means. It warned recipients that the group had all their private information and suggested that any attempt to disobey the directive would have nasty consequences. Quote, "You will vote for Trump on election day or we will come after you," the messages read. Asked late Wednesday if he had seen the FBI announcement about Iran being behind the spoofing program, Enrique Tarrio, the chairman of the Proud Boys, told the Daily Beast, "Yes, I'm absorbing it into my veins." Okay. The Proud Boys have been a magnet for trolls since Trump ignited controversy by nodding at them in the middle of the first debate against Democratic opponent Joe Biden last month. One internet hoaxer apparently admitted to the Daily Beast that he'd sent out phony Proud Boys recruitment texts in an attempt to help drive voter turnout and even set up a fake assault rifle raffle. that trolls tied to Iran might seize on the group's notoriety and very real concerns across the country about possible election day violence should come at no surprise. Ratcliffe and the FBI Director Christopher Wray did not supply specific evidence connecting Iran to the Proud Boys impersonation. But pro-Iranian and Iranian-linked trolls on Twitter have been active over the past year in efforts to meddle in American politics on issues ranging from the election campaign to the coronavirus pandemic. And I'll tell you this. There's a lot of people in media that are desperately trying to make it seem like it really was the Proud Boys for whatever reason. If the DNA comes out and says, we believe this to be Iran, I say, okay. I have no other evidence to the contrary. I don't know. Sure, I guess. But I'll tell you, perhaps in the years since we were so worried about Russia interfering in our election, we've actually developed a better tracking apparatus to figure out who's manipulating our elections and social media. Perhaps Twitter or some other service immediately offered up some kind of corroborating evidence and said, here, this links to certain data we saw from the spoofing. And maybe someone came forward and said, we know who did this. Maybe they got direct evidence very quickly. It's very simple, right? More importantly, maybe we have built a better infrastructure for tracking down this type of manipulation. In September, the FBI tipped off Twitter about a network of 130 fake accounts posing as pro and anti-Trump Americans, which were run by operators in Iran. The accounts, according to Twitter, were attempting to disrupt the public conversation during the first 2020 U.S. presidential debate. And the social media company quickly suspended them. At least one account referenced President Trump's comments that the Proud Boys need to stand by and stand down. In early October, the Justice Department seized 92 fake domains, first linked to Iran by researchers at FireEye in 2018, which it said were run by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Over the past year, a number of Iranian-linked and pro-Iranian Twitter accounts identified by the Daily Beast have sought to seize on divisive issues in American politics with fake stories hosted at spoofed websites. The accounts have floated racist conspiracy theories about a Navy ship fire with a forged letter from Senator Tammy Duckworth and impersonated a World Health Organization executive and a prominent public health expert, Dr. Zeke Emanuel, in order to push racist fake narratives about coronavirus vaccine experiments on Black Americans and treatment for the disease in FEMA camps. Earlier this month, Twitter accounts identified by the Daily Beast and Mandiant Threat Intelligence and attributed to Iran by Twitter amplified fake tweets from a hacked Israeli news outlet's Twitter account. The messages sought to convince social media users that President Trump was dying of COVID and that Black Lives Matter protesters had fired gunshots outside the home of Bill and Hillary Clinton. Ray said officials are coordinating with the private sector, both technology and social media companies, to make sure that their platforms are not used by foreign adversaries to spread disinformation and propaganda. You should be confident that your vote counts early. Unverified claims to the contrary should be viewed with a healthy dose of skepticism. Well, the Proud Boys said this means war. Following Iran voter intimidation threats, we're also hearing from Vice. Threatening voter emails included highly suspicious hacking video. The video included an email spoofed to be from the Proud Boys, showed an alleged hacker obtaining voter data and using it to print a ballot, but the scheme is unlikely to be successful. You know, I just want to point out that these schemes are really poorly done. I mean, it's very, very obvious, right? Listen, with the threatening letters being sent out to regular people with Trump signs, that's harder to debunk because somebody would have to actually send the letters probably in the U.S. Otherwise, they'd easily track came from a foreign source. Maybe Iran has spies and assets in the U.S. Seems like it would make sense. And they draft up these letters and send them to random Trump supporters. How do they find Trump supporter information? I mean, it's really easy. It's on the FEC website. That makes it very, very easy to track down. As for these emails, how pathetic is it to send an email from the official Proud Boys website saying, we know you better vote for Trump? That's the stupidest thing ever and so easy to debunk. It's not believable. The Proud Boys aren't going to log into their official email and start sending out messages to people. And people probably won't believe it. Maybe some people did. Now, the Proud Boys are pissed. The Proud Boys have urged military action against Iran after U.S. officials accused them of using their name to intimate voters. Yeah, sure. I think they mean intimidate because intimate means something else. Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe said Iran was responsible for the emails. So this we know. We will know which candidate you voted for. I would take this seriously if I were you. The emails from the address info@officialproudboys.com added. The receiver's home address were repeatedly posted at the bottom of the email. So if you're not familiar, Spoofing is very easy. And what happens is someone receives an email with the wrong email address. In a press conference, Ratcliffe said it was Iran. The Proud Boys immediately denied sending the emails, describing them as a false flag operation against the group. The group have now described their validation as after the FBI said they were not behind the threats. This means war, Joe Biggs, who organizes rallies for the Proud Boys, wrote on a social media site, Parler. Referencing Trump, Biggs added, Iran, if you F around with us, if you do something bad to us, we're going to do things to you that have never been done before. Orange Man, but also us, the Proud Boys. Proud Boy Chairman Enrique Tarrio added that whatever mother of all bombs gets dropped in Iran for meddling in our election better have the Proud Boys' name etched on it. Woo, spicy. Tarrio also questioned how the group, listed by the FBI as a domestic terror threat, I do not believe that's true, have become players in an international cyber war. In a statement to ABC, Tarrio added, yesterday we slept comfortably in our beds knowing that we did nothing wrong. Today, the FBI confirmed what we already knew. Biden's disinformation campaign in the debate stage was used by Iran to interfere in our elections. It was amplified by many blue-check Twitter accounts, including Florida State Representative Anna Eskamani. Twitter silences the New York Post, but allows disinformation like this to remain. This was another attempt to discredit our great organization. The group also set up Proud Boys Iran social media accounts mocking claims that they were behind the emails. There are already tensions between the U.S. and Tehran since Trump ordered the killing of Qasem Soleimani. So Iran really does have a reason to hurt Trump and make the Proud Boys look bad and make Trump look bad. But let me show you something else. I-Team. Threatening letters sent to Trump supporters in Northeast Ohio. This is the other side of the coin. Now, I don't know who would be doing this, and it doesn't make sense to me that Antifa or any far leftists would actually send these letters. These letters wouldn't do anything, just make you look bad. Imagine sending someone a letter saying, hi, I like Joe Biden and I'm a piece of human trash. People would be like, what's the point of the letter? I really do not believe that Joe Biden supporters or Antifa are going to send letters to people like this. I don't. It sounds more like someone is trying to drive a wedge between, they're trying to inflame tensions and they're trying to make physical violence occur. This is Ohio. The Fox 8 I-Team has spoken to families who report they've received letters in the mail threatening them if they continue to support Donald Trump for president. Multiple people in Cuyahoga County got the letters and authorities are investigating. Two of those receiving the letters tell the Fox 8 I-Team they have Trump campaign signs in their yards. The letter threatens payback for the support of the president and his reelection. Now, I'll tell you this. Look, I lean towards this being some kind of manipulation or intimidation. Some kind of manipulation, I should say, is a better way to put it. But Antifa does target Trump supporters. The far left does threaten Trump supporters. We have over 1,000 instances in the past several years of Trump supporters being harassed and attacked. So if you came to me and said that these letters, were hitting Trump supporter mailboxes, I have no reason to believe it's part of an influence operation or manipulation. The fake emails from the Proud Boys aren't going to do that. That's ridiculous. The difference between the Proud Boys and Antifa is the Proud Boys actually have a brand and a name. If they put their name on something, it'll make them look really bad. It just hurts their organization. As for Antifa, it's a bunch of random people just causing violence and hurting others. So that actually would fit their MO. They say the envelopes show the letters were sent to specific addresses without listing names of people living there. They have no return address. Voter information is public in the state of Ohio. Yeah. Well, we have more. Trump supporters in Milford, Brookline received threatening letters. And I did cover this a couple days ago. We now have an image of the threatening letter. It says, "Dear neighbor, you have been identified by our group as being a Trump supporter. Your address has been added to into our database as a target for when we attack should Trump not concede the election. We recommend that you check your home insurance policy and I got to read this verbatim because this may be important. We recommend that you check your home insurance policy and make that it is current and that it is adequate coverage for fire damage. You have been given, quote, fair warning. Always remember that it was you that started the Civil War. Be prepared to face the severe consequences of your preemptive actions against democracy." That sounds like maybe a typo or maybe not the way someone would, a colloquial English speaker would write a letter. And make that it is current, make sure, maybe they forgot the word. You have started the Civil War. It really does seem like someone is trying to get us to fight. And Iran seems like a good, suspect. Now, I need hard evidence. I do not want to see the U.S. engage in foreign conflict. The Proud Boys saying, oh, war. No, I'm not interested in that. If they can prove they were meddling in our elections, then maybe we take some reciprocal approach to how we deal with this, and not war and dropping bombs, sanctions maybe. But this story about the physical letters is very, very different. Iran would have to send the physical letters. Whoever did it would have to send the physical letters. It could be that whoever did it just wants war. Now, I'll tell you, I want to show you this. A lot of people have been talking about this. This website's existed for a long time. Donald Trump Watch. Americans that give money to support a racist. And there's a quote. Those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities. Data provided by fec.gov. When you donate to a politician, your information becomes public. So if you were to tell me that Biden supporters or something were getting threatening email addresses, how are they getting the email addresses? Perhaps voter registration data, somehow hacked or obtained. When you tell me that someone is getting a letter to their home, it's really easy to get someone's home address. I'll show you how this Donald Trump, it's called donaldtrump.watch. Now, my understanding is that originally it was called racist.watch. And then there was a big outcry. A bunch of people started pointing it out. And the people who run the site immediately changed it to Donald Trump Watch, I guess, because they felt it was a little heavy-handed to call the people supporting Trump a racist. But you can see they put here, Americans that give money to support a racist. I'm going to search for 90210 and see what pops up. We'll search by location. So it's hopefully the website's still, there we go. So it's loading. This is Beverly Hills. I'm not going to click on any of these names because if I do, it will show you their name and personal details. But I chose 90210 just because, it's a zip code people get, Beverly Hills. If you click search, first, the website is actually poorly made. But you can see there are many people. Now, my understanding is that yellow icons represent donations made before 2020, and the red icons represent donations in 2020. We can zoom out, and we can go anywhere. Let's go to Barstow. We'll go to Barstow, we'll zoom in, and we'll see if this works. And it's loading, and oh yeah, there it is. A map of the location of Trump supporters. This website doesn't need to exist. It's not doxing in the traditional sense. It's all publicly available information. But they have done something that is actually, in my opinion, on par with doxing. Look, if I go to the FEC website and I start searching for people's names, I don't know the name of all my neighbors. So I don't know who around me is donating to Trump, and I wouldn't be able to find that anyway. I can try typing in random addresses of my neighbors to see if they did. Take a really long time. Well, someone has created a program that has compiled all that data and placed pins on a map, making it so that if you live in a place like Barstow, you can zoom right in and see everybody in your area who voted for Trump. Imagine what Antifa could do with a tool like this. Let's go somewhere. Let's go to Portland. How about that, huh? Let's see if people in Portland are donating to Donald Trump. This is where it gets serious because, as you know, Portland has been embroiled in ongoing riots nonstop. So I will add, the site doesn't work all that well, but we can certainly see here, there are a lot of people who have supported Donald Trump in Portland. And sure enough, there it is. Look at this. So it appears like, for whatever reason, it's loading mostly on the west side of the river in Portland. Maybe people on the other side of Burnside Bridge or of the Willamette River aren't supporting Trump. But look at all these people in Portland to support Donald Trump. These are hard donations. Many of them gave more than once. It's not just one donation. Some people have given hundreds. Some people give over and over again. Think about what Antifa can do with this as the violence escalates. This is something that I find particularly worrisome. Tools are being developed that it's always going to be increments. It's never going to be a direct thing. They're not going to show up to a random person's house and just put a black bag and throw them in a van. It's going to be one small step after another. So we're seeing things like influence campaigns and voter intimidation. This, in my opinion, is intended to intimidate you. And this is made, my understanding, by an American. The goal of this site, in my opinion, is so that they want you to know it exists. That way, if you make a donation, people can find out where you live. We've already heard from Robert Reich, who said, he's this anti-Trump resistance guy. After this is all over, We need a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to name every politician, every collaborator, media mogul, so that we can move forward. You know what they'll do with a commission like that? They're going to blacklist people. They're going to strip them of their resources. They're going to destroy their lives. They are telling you right now, not only will they punch you in the face and smash your teeth out like they did in San Francisco, they will know where you live. Look at this website. Then look at those letters that were sent to the Trump supporters. And it makes me wonder, is that one legit? Well, the government says the Proud Boys one is not. It's a manipulation campaign. And possibly the letters being sent to Trump supporters is also intimidation and manipulation by a foreign adversary. But these are physical letters. And you have, and you know what? Let's do this. Get rid of those stories of the letters and just look at donaldtrump.watch. They have published the location and home addresses on a map of where all of Trump's donors live. How many people have not donated to Donald Trump because of this? What if Trump loses because he didn't have the donations he needed? How many people are scared to get physically attacked and won't say they support Trump? That's a very, very important number to know. I'm reminded of this very important quote from a middle-aged woman screaming at the top of her lungs, "We are losing our democracy." Just wow, calm down, lady. And I'll tell you what though, seeing things like this, I think we are seeing massive and sustained damage to our democratic institutions, how we elect our representatives, and I think it's going to eventually contribute to the collapse of our society unless something is done about it. Donald Trump Watch is a really, really bad idea, but it's legal. It's publicly available information. But at a time when people are threatening and beating Trump supporters in the street and killing them, we know what this is. It's a threat, an overt threat. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.